Hi, now very quickly before the main video starts, I've bought a job lot of SNESs and originally I filmed them as 3 separate videos, so I'm filming this in the future. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bunch all 3 together in one longer video because I think it will be more fun, and then it saves me having to do 3 separate videos on the channel. So the way it's going to work is you're going to see 1 attempted repair, and then the 2nd attempted repair, and then the 3rd attempted repair. Treat them all as little mini videos in the one main video. Anyway, let's get started with the first attempted repair. Hello, it's my mate Vince here, and for the first time on this channel we're going to be trying to fix up a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, a SNES or an SNES, depending on what part of the world you're from. So I actually bought 3 of them in a job lot. I think it was £50 for all 3, but I'll have to show you the listing. It didn't come with any cables or anything, just the devices. So I already had a controller because obviously I do numerous videos connecting up different controllers to different systems. I'm using the power supply from an NES because it's AC to AC, and I'm using the AV out from a GameCube. So between everything I've managed to get enough cables to make it work. So basically this one no power, and then the other 2 have power, but this one's not displaying anything, and this one's just displaying like a purple screen that sometimes flashes to yellow. But anyway, on this one here, this is by far the best one out of the 3, and if you have a look at it, when I turn it on there's no power light whatsoever, and my adapter's definitely okay because when I plug it in here I do have power. If I just quickly swap it to this one, you will see when I turn it on here that there's power. Yep. So let's take it apart. I've had to put this bit of paper at the bottom because the rubber feet have gone so sticky that it's already, well, when it came it already had these bits of paper on, but yeah, they're just breaking down. Let's take it apart and see if we can follow the voltage and find out why this one's got no power. Okay, so I missed out on this generation here, but one of my friends did have one. I'm trying to think, 1991 this came out, so that would have been when I had the Sega Master System. Look at that, you can see just from resting it on there. Good job I didn't put that on the rug. Right now, model number SNSP001A UKV. Oh, we need the game bit driver for these. Okay. I did notice what was quite nice is that basically when you turn it on, it lifts up this thing here to lock the game into place, so you can't take the game out. You see that thing comes up here, locks the game in. Nice little touch. Right, okay, so now what's going on here? Cartridge slot looks particularly clean. So we've got an on and off switch here. It could be the on and off switch that's failed, or it could be the could it be that voltage regulator thing there? First of all, let's unplug this. And let's just make sure we've got continuity going through that switch. No tape. No tape. Yes, quite a few of you said I need new leads. And I did have the new leads, I was just waiting until the other one's completely packed up. But I've swapped them. Right, okay, so now. Was a bit delayed. Yeah, switch is fine. So now, what else is there? Let's get into this board more. Really, I want to get this whole thing out, don't I? I've also bought another one off eBay as spares, and what was interesting is when it arrived it came through to my mate Vince, so the person must be aware of my channel. So yeah, I've just bought the board itself. No, none of the inside bits, not even the controller port at the front, just the board. Again, I think it was, yeah, that was down as faulty. So I might be able to use parts off that, you see, because ideally I'd like to get as many of those 3 working as possible. But I'm happy to borrow parts from the other 2 to get this one working. And then you see, as I go through, I can find out what we do and don't need. Okay, we are here. So let's zoom in a little bit and see if we can work out what's happening. So the power comes in via this adapter here. So we can check there to begin with, see if it gets to there. Then where does it go? It goes through this component here. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a little bridge rectifier, but it's not labelled up as such. T1. Don't know what that is. Anyway, it goes through to some wires here, and then it's kind of hard to see. Looks like it goes through a couple of caps. Hold on. Oh, it also goes off in this direction up here. Well, let's plug in the switch. Let's see if we can trace some voltages. So let's plug in the power supply. Now I don't know which is on and off, but anyway, let's see first of all if we have, right, we're going to have AC, aren't we, coming into here. Right, we've got 10 volts there on there. When we plug it in, Six volts. A bit low, isn't it? Right. Let me go between these 2 sides. Oh, 10 volts. Right, okay. So it's those 2 sides there. Because it must come down the middle pin, go straight to there, and that one must go around the side. Right, okay, so we've got it to there. So does it mean we're going to have it going through to this side? Yeah, we've got 10 volts AC going through to there. Not sure where it goes to then. Should we see what we've got going on this thing here? Let's swap to DC. I'm not sure if this will be DC here. But let's go to a ground. And we've got input, ground, and output, IG0. So let's pull out this for a second and just make sure the middle bit is ground, the middle leg. Yeah. Yeah, middle leg's ground. So, back to voltage. I'm going to do DC. Let's see what we've got going on here. So the input should be 10 volts, which is not. The output is nothing. Now let's turn it on here because maybe the switch is off, because I don't know what's off and on. And let's try that again. Input minus 0.3, output nothing. Right, let's go on to AC in case it's AC. Input nothing. Output is going to be nothing. Right, let's do the switch again and try that again. No, so we're not getting anything here. Let's get rid of the adapter for a minute and let's just go with continuity, see if we can work out what's happening. So we're okay to here. Now looking there, it looks like it just goes through 2 wires this side and 2 wires that side. So let's flip it over. And they have to be these ones here, surely. But where do they go to then? It's kind of hard to see on the circuit board the way it's been done. Does seem to be a horrible flux here, but it's also up here and also around here, so that's going to be all factory. What's this thing here? 1.5 amp. This is a fuse. Let's check the fuse. Ah. Right, so fuse is gone. Now, did the fuse go because something else went, or did the fuse just go? Maybe somebody plugged in a... No, it wouldn't make a difference. If you plugged in a DC adapter into it, it wouldn't make a difference, would it? The problem is when you plug AC into a DC device, but this is an AC device, so you'd be able to plug a DC in. Right, okay, well, That's nothing's happening here. So what I'm going to do is, let me just get the soldering iron on. To begin with, I'm just going to run just a tiny wire across it. I'll do a 0.02 wire, which is still not a fuse, but just temporarily, just for testing. I can always take this out of another console, and I'm sure you can buy them if it's a common fault. And then let's see if it comes to life. It might be as simple as a fuse. Right, so this is what I'm using here, 0.02 millimeters. So as you can imagine, apart from the reflection of the light, you can't actually see this stuff. Right, let's just try to tin it up. And I'm just going to use the existing solder that's there. Hopefully it will sink into it. This is only temporary, just for testing. Now that side's not wanting to melt, so must be on a bigger plane. Let's add a little bit of leaded to that. I presume this is going to be leaded from this era anyway. There we go, and you can just see the tiny wire there. Right, let me turn this off for the time being. Let's turn it on now and see if that burns, see if something else burns, see if the light comes on. Right, here goes. So we're off at the moment on the switch. Let's see now if that's going to light up. Yay, it does. Is anything going to burn up? Well, that's going to burn up because we haven't got the heat sink on it. So what I'm going to do is, let me quickly put it back together. I won't bother putting any screws. Well, I'll put in what I need to, and we'll see if it's working. It could be as simple as that. Now, if it does work, that's giving me hope for the other ones, because it means really that the person who sold them hasn't really been looking into them that much. Because that one there, if you were used to doing these, would be a very, very, very easy repair. That'll do. Let's plug it back in. Right, I haven't plugged it in yet because I wanted to see if it's going to go pop on camera. So now we're off on the switch. Let's just plug it in. Hold on, can't see what I'm doing. Right, we're in. Now, let's see. Focus. Red light. There we go. Is it going to stay on? Got volume as well. What would cause the fuse to blow? Okay, let's see if it blows when I go off and back on again. Nah, is it really that simple? Well, I think what I'm going to do is, to begin with, because I don't know what's going to be wrong with the other two, so the board that I got for spares, rather than try to fault find that, I think I will use it as spares and take the fuse off that. I'm going to play a couple of games just to make sure, and then let's swap the fuse over. Right, so I'm going to take out this broken fuse and use the one from this donor board here, which is working because I've got continuity across it. I plugged in this donor board just to see what it was doing, and I have I can hear the game playing, but the screen's completely black. Anyway, I've got two more to fix, so let's take it from here for the time being, and then depending on how many things we can use off there, we'll determine whether or not we'll try to fix that one. Now, I've looked online what can cause these to blow, and what some people are saying is that before you work on them, you have to discharge them by turning it on, and if you turn it on, you will see the little red light flicker at the front. But we can try that. We can try that once we get it back together. You can buy these fuses as well on eBay. They're only a couple of pounds and they're not expensive. They're 1.5 amp. Right, so you can see the new fuse in place there. Well, let's add power and see what this red light does. Right, plugging in the back. Turn it on, we have a red light. So now turn it off, unplug, and now let's see if we can discharge it by turning it on. Let's see if this flickers. Yeah, fair play, it does. Okay, so at least I know that when I come to work on the other one. So I know this was a particularly easy one and really quite a boring one, but what I'll do is I'm going to go straight onto the other ones now, and then hopefully I can get them both live at the same time. So it's kind of like having a long video. No, Vince, they're watching the long video right now because I've changed it all up. So all I do now is give it a good clean and put it all back together. I take off the horrible black oily feet, but surprisingly they come off really easy, and the underneath of them are still really sticky and completely intact. So it was just a bit that was exposed to the air that's completely rotted and turned to oil. I'm just going to show you a tiny little bit of gameplay now, and then we're going to move straight on to the second one. So one down, two more to go, and the first one, believe it or not, yes, unbelievable, I know, it was just a fuse. So I mean, a kind of dream eBay buy really so far. Let's see what happens on the second and third one. Oh no, let's see if I can do this without losing a life. Ah, there we go. No finishing move though. Right, okay, well there you have it. Nice and straightforward. I'm going to move straight on to the next one now, and hopefully that might be more interesting because this was just quite boring really. But saying that, it's an honest, real fix, and I've got more hope now for the next ones because it means I don't think they've been looked at very closely. So this is the second one I'm looking at, and this one does have power when we turn it on, but there's no display, there's no game sounds, there's no nothing. So turn it off and back on again, you will see that it will go off the screen there. So it looks like it's trying to work, but there's just no sounds, no nothing. So let's take it apart, see if we can find out what's going on. This one is very yellowed. I'm not sure whether we're going to find corrosion or something on the inside. Maybe it's going to be something to do with the game cartridge slot being dirty. But let's see if we can get to the bottom of it. Right, so we need a game bit driver to get into the back of it. There should be 6 screws, which there is. Now this one is very yellowed, so it looks like it's spent quite a lot of its life in the sunlight. Well, look at that. The inside is completely yellowed as well. Well, that is interesting. The inside is as yellow, if not more, than the outside. What's going on there? That's really, really weird. Right, let's, what are we going to do here? Cartridge slot, should we have a look there? No, I think we need to get down right onto the board and see what's going on there, because we've got power and stuff. It's just, oh, what I need to do is turn it on and off to discharge it. See it flashed on there for a second? Let's undo all the screws and get the board out and see what's happening. Right now, just a very quick look at it. I can't see anything that looks obviously wrong, but I think we need to zoom in and have a look around the place. I suppose the most likely place for damage would it be in here? If anything was spilt on the console, would it work its way in here and maybe sit underneath this plastic? In fact, look here, I can see a little bit of damage here. Look, can you see that there? That's some sort of corrosion, isn't it? So maybe we should look around pin damage. Let's have a look on top. Mind you, the damage isn't going to sit on top because whatever liquid was spilt would just run straight to the bottom. How do we even take this out? Oh, here we go. Nice, it just lifts up. Look, just lifts up there. Oh, and these ones just clip on. Oh, this is really easy to replace. That's a good little system, isn't it? Because these are the things, you know, that might fail if people are shoving something wrong into there. But you can just pop it out, undo 2 screws, pop it out, and get a new one to pop in. That's quite nice. Yeah. Right, let's have a look here, see if we can see any damage. Let's zoom right in. Right, where are we? Here. Now, hold on a minute. Here we go. Look at that one there. Is that one gone? Can you see this one here? Can you see it gets darker and darker and darker? Darker and darker. I wonder if it's gone here. So I'll tell you what, let's just start with that one. And let's scrape here. And let's scrape along here. Now let's see if we have continuity between the two. Looks bad, but we might still have continuity. So on my meter, when the leads touch, it makes a noise. So let's see now, where are we? Here and here. Here and here? No? No, so it's gone there, unless I'm not on it properly. I think I'm on it. Right, okay, so we got a damage trace there. Could be as simple as that. Let's say, because it coincides with where the corrosion was here, doesn't it? Around this area. But let's have a closer look at the rest of it. Maybe there's all corrosion sat underneath here. That's nice that we found something already. Right, what's happening here? Nothing. 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 Corrosion here, but that is on a massive plane there. Might be a ground maybe. Right, let's check the other side. Fine. Looks good. Bit of corrosion there. No, it's not, just on top. Think that's okay. Well, I think it is just that one there. So let's run a wire and well, first of all, let me get some isopropyl alcohol and give this area a clean and then see exactly what we've got. I'm just going to be using some isopropyl alcohol. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to put some gloves on because my hands are just being destroyed. They're just drying out massively, and I think part of that is the isopropyl alcohol. Right, while I'm cleaning up this, I'm going to give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. They're the top level patrons. And this month they consist of kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeves.com, King Kurd from Lowbook Auto Sales, DJVG, Robert from Timsey's Auto Air, Albert at www.faroutsounds.co.uk, and Stuart Park. So massive thanks, guys. So my luck is truly in with this job lot. I mean, there might be other things wrong with this one, we don't know yet, but all I'm going to do is scrape it back a little bit more to get to fresh copper on the traces. Then I'm going to tin the traces with some solder, and then I'm going to run some 0.1mm wire in between the two. And then once we've done that, we have to cover it in some solder mask, some UV solder mask, and this time I'm going to try to set it not just with the UV light, but with the UV light and also 100 degrees Celsius heat as well. Let's see whether or not that cures it quicker, because quite a few people have told me that in a previous video. So that's what I'm just whizzing through on this little bit. Now I'm going to play a little bit of music, relax and enjoy. I'm just putting some solder on my tip out of camera.
Bubblegum fights on the third floor. Comedy specials at 8. Fishing rod in the quiet field. The what I caught wouldn't be big enough for you and I. Say I.
Right, I'm just going to add some heat now with the hot air gun just to burn away the IPA, and then we need to seal that.
And all of these moments they add to something that feels so good. And all that I'm left with to drive through, I lose my head. You call me up and ask if I'm doing okay. Was it easier when I was younger? Did the ones I love seem rosier? Or was it all the trick you played on me? Nowadays we're all so spread out, a time zone for each of our hearts. When tragedy strikes, will we men come together to say our goodbyes, or will we stay apart and leave it all unsaid? Was it easier when we were younger? Did the ones we love, they seem rosier? Or was it all the trick we played on each other?
Right, well there we go. 100% is definitely quicker, there's no argument there. It's still soft in the middle there. Well, I think we're okay to test. Let's put it roughly back together just to test it, and then I can set this a little bit more in a while. Now I think this is reversible, but we know the corrosion goes up top anyway. So although it's corroded there, the actual pins here look very clean, and the pins here look clean. Yeah, that clips in really nice, that. I'm just going to put one screw in that little voltage regulator there, so it doesn't burn out on me. Let's test it now, see if it plays anything. Okay, here goes. I promise I haven't turned it on. We're in there now. Let's turn it on. Red light, come on. Yes. And we got sound. Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, one dodgy trace. Result. Okay, let's see, does reset work? Yes, it does. Let's turn it off and let's just try another game. Gently, gently, gently. 1 second, let me just put this down. Ah, perfect. Alright, let's pop that in there. Now, is it going to play this one? Why have you not got no power? What the? Why have you suddenly got no power? What? Why has it suddenly gone dead? Dead. Oh. Well, that's... oh no, have I shorted something? I wonder if I've blown that fuse. That is weird. It's completely dead. Right, let's bring it back over. I bet you I've somehow blown that fuse. Maybe when I went to take it out, I shorted something. Yeah, because normally you should use the eject button. Maybe I shorted 2 pins. Oh, maybe I shorted 2 pins when I took it out there. Oh no. Okay, let's see if that little fuse has gone. No. What have I done to this? Yes, it has gone. Hold on a minute. It was just power left in it that was making it beep. Still got 2.2 volts in here. You think that would be draining away? Tell you what, let's short out the fuse. What did I do there? It must have been when I took the game out that I shorted 2 pins together when this came off. Because it's not screwed down. A schoolboy error there, wasn't there? Right, okay, well, given away the outcome of the first video, I had to change the fuse in that one there. So, I haven't got any more fuses. But what I can do is I can just put in a tiny little bit of wire until I buy them off eBay. I'm just wondering, for a conclusion of this video, should I, really, you're going to want to see a proper fuse in here, aren't you? I'm curious now whether it's going to blow another fuse. Do you know what I'm going to do? Because I know it sounds silly, I know the fuse is there to protect something else. I am just going to... Should I put in a bit of wire now to do the testing? But saying that, this might not blow, although it's tiny, 0.02. It still might not blow as quick as a 1.5 amp fuse. I wonder, did I do something there? It had to. It's when I turned it off and put another game in. It had to be me. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fuse. I'm going to order some off of eBay. I'm going to take a fuse from the third one that I need to work on, and then put it in here. And at least this video here will hopefully be complete. Oh, this poor little one's been well and truly bashed up. Got missing plastic posts and everything. Right, let's pop the fuse out. Just going to add some fresh solder to it to make it easier to pop out. Okay, so I'm going to put it back together properly now. I've got my new fuse in there. Let's just make sure we've got continuity across it. Which we have, and the fuse that came out is completely dead. It just shows you how easy they blow. Right, but good job it was there, because maybe it would have taken out a chip if that wasn't there. So let me properly put it back together now, and then we can do a test on it and make sure that both games are working and the controller ports and stuff are working.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, where I had sometimes played chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling. But all complexions that I adore, so hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream on to someday find that vintage love. I kept on looking, but everyone's such a bore. And out of a sudden, you came through the door. At the next table, your whiskey neat. The lights were dimmed as our eyes met, and you saw me. And forevermore, I like to share that vintage dream.
Okay, I've been testing it and it's all working just fine, and I've cleaned it up. Apart from the discoloration, it is actually in very good condition. There's no massive plastic cracks out of it or anything like that. It's just discoloured. Do you know what? The discoloration doesn't really bother me. It's an old product. Of course, if it was naturally bright, then that would be good. But to retro bright it and the work involved in it, I'm not too fussed about doing that. I'm just happy that it's working again. And although it doesn't look good, it's definitely nice and clean. So here we have Exhaust Heat. It was a game I got from CEX and it came boxed. Well, I paid extra for the box because I wanted to see what a boxed one looked like. Anyway, this is it up here. Let me show you a little bit of gameplay and then I'll just show you the games changing because now it's working just fine. So here we go. Right. So early 90s, would that be Nigel Mansell sort of era, would it be? Let's just overtake a few of these. You've got your gears up here as well. I think I've got it on automatic, but you can see I can go through the gears here. On the shoulder buttons. So there you go. You can see it's working absolutely fine. And if I was to turn off, eject, I do like the way it ejects, and put this one in, turn on, you will see that this one is working just fine as well. So there we have it. What did I do wrong that time? I think what happened was, I think when I took the game out because it wasn't in its case, that something must have shorted and blew the fuse. So that's fine. I'm going to buy some fuses from eBay now, and I've got another one to look at, which I'm looking forward to looking at. So yeah, this is a good job lot to get because they are fixable. So all this not working was down to just one little trace that just had a tiny bit of corrosion, probably where it went, probably something spilt on the top here, and it just went and sat straight on that connector there, worked its way down to the bottom and just eroded away that trace. So what a nice little fix. So 2 down and 1 to go. 2 fixed ones, and not really nightmares either. I would sort of call them the perfect fixes because one little fault and then they start working again. You haven't got to then fix another 7 faults on top of that. So let's get straight on with number 3 and let's see what happens on that one. Will we get 3 out of 3? Let's find out. We have power. You can hear it's playing the game. But look, nothing's happening on screen, but every now and then it will flash to a different colour. You might have already seen it happening. Or let's try to press start. There you go. Can you see it kind of went to a different colour there? Then and again there. But yet there's nothing happening. And it's not the game. The game's working fine. And every single time I do this, when I put it in and out, it does the same thing. It's not that it sometimes works or sometimes doesn't. This is all the time. It's just like this. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. Is this going to be a damaged chip, maybe a video chip or something, or will it be a damaged trace? Let's bring it over to the blue mat, take it apart and find out what's going on. Now this one certainly looks sorry for itself. Not only have we got various different breaks on it here, we have posts and stuff missing from it and also a bit of plastic from, I don't know, one of the edges somewhere. But yeah, so it's not in good nick, but if we can get it working, it will still be nice. So all I have to do is take out the 4 remaining screws because 2 of them are in here. Now with this one here, I have put a little bit of wire in place of the fuse because I had to borrow the fuse from this one for the second one because I'm not too sure why. In fact, let's turn this one on and off, see if it does the discharging thing. So watch out for the red light here when I turn it on. There you go. You see that there? So I believe that's supposed to kill the power. If you don't do that, apparently you blow the fuse really easy. Strange, isn't it? But yeah, there we go. Right, yeah, let's get this off here. Look at that, nice bit of corrosion on the pin there. Just there. Right, let's undo all the screws. There's quite a few screws to undo. So now let's zoom in and see if we can see any corrosion around the place. And that looks a bit iffy there, doesn't it? That doesn't quite look very good. Let's zoom right in here. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought it was a missing trace there. It's not. That looks iffy though, doesn't it? Well, the more I'm oh jeez, oh god, have I just gone through the traces there? No, I don't think so. That's the problem when you're doing the push testers. If you slip like that, then you can cut through the traces, but I don't think I have. No, they're okay, but it definitely looks like something was done along here, so I'm just going to bear that in mind. So we'll just do a little visual inspection around the place. Oh, corrosion here. A little bit of corrosion there. Not much though, it comes straight off. Corrosion here. Ooh. Now that might be promising. PPU, that's going to be the thing that generates the graphics. Let's zoom in on here. Let's see if we've got continuity between that wire and that pin. It'd be nice if we didn't. I don't think we do. Let's just try this wire. Right, so that goes to there, no problem. That doesn't go to there. I think we found our problem. We found our problem. Well, we found a problem. Yeah, that's not getting there. Right, let's get the soldering iron on. And a bit of IPA, and let's clean up that area. See what it looks like. So I'm just using isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, it all looks a bit corroded there, doesn't it? And PPU, that would be, because that's the same as the NES. The CPU, so this one here, this chip here is a CPU. Look, SCPU. But this one here, PPU, would be the graphics chip. So that would explain why the graphics are weird like that. Right, so what have we got? We've got corrosion on this one. Let's scrape that back, see if it's okay. Yeah, that's okay. That leg doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Maybe that's just a grounds. Not sure. That one is not getting there. That one is getting there. Although the one above is getting there, I'm just going to scrape it to try to, because it might be about to break. That's still getting there. Fantastic, that's really good there. So it must be, it's here, here, but not here. So it's just that tiny little bit there. That little bit just there. I'm just going to see if I can just solder up that area there. I might not even run a jumper wire. It looks so small, I might get away with it. I've tinned it up nicely, but you can really see the break there. So I'm going to struggle to fill that with solder, the break just here. So I'm going to get a tiny wire, but I'm not going to go to the leg of the chip. I'm going to try to do it just before the leg. So then in the future, if somebody was to take the chip off, it may, or may not, but it may keep that little bit intact. I've got 0.1mm wire. Let's just see if I can get it on that tiny little bit there. Right, I think that might have done it. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we've got this one go into here. That's intact. We've got that one go into here. No, sorry, that's my one. Yeah, that one's empty. And this one goes to... Does this one go to here? No, so this is broken now that I've been scraping it, so I have to run a little wire on that one above it as well. So with all my scraping, I obviously damaged the one above it, but it means it was just barely hanging on in the first place. So it's just as well that it broke now rather than weeks or months down the line. So I'm just going to have to solder on another little wire, just exactly the same as what I just did now. And then I'm going to use some UV masks, some UV light, and the heat again. And this time, all that little bit there cures in less than 1 minute, which is really nice. So adding heat with the UV light is definitely a winner, which I will be using again in the future. Right, you can see that I put the solder mask up to the legs of the chip, but not on the actual chip itself. If this works, these SNESs have just been like a dream, because they haven't been like boring, just like getting something with corrosion on the battery terminals or, you know, an on and off switch broken. It's been interesting stuff in my opinion. Like, you know, like a trace repair like that is interesting. I love stuff like that. But yet it didn't take a million years to find the thing. So yeah, really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to be adding the UV light and 100 degrees Celsius. Hopefully then it will cure in a few minutes. Oh, there we go. It's gone hard, which is great. Didn't take long at all. Now let's have a look at the rest of the board. So in this bit here, I'm just looking around the board closely to see if I can see any more corrosion around the legs of the chips and other areas. I find plenty of dirt and dust, but it's pretty good on the corrosion front. Well, I think that looks okay, so I think we should put it back together and see if it is working or not. We found a trace damage and it coincides. We know that there was no display, not proper display, and the PPU is going to be something to do with the display. So yeah, I think that's all good. Well, I'm just going to clean this out over the bin because you can see all the horrible dust everywhere. So I'm just putting this back together just enough to test it because I'm waiting on some fuses to arrive from eBay, 1.5 amp fuses. So once they arrive, I can put it back together properly. Now, at the moment, I'm just having to resolder in the 0.02 millimeter wire that I'm using as a fuse, and then we can test it. Right, let's test it. Right, here goes. Do you think it will work? I think it will, because we found a damage on it. It was almost working beforehand, and it kind of everything lines up. The fact it was playing the game but not displaying says to me PPU rather than CPU. So I think in this instance, I think it's going to work. Right, that's the TV get to the no signal bit, and then I'll turn it on. Here we go. Fantastic. There it is. Do you know what? I knew that was going to work. Fantastic. Excellent. So now not only can we hear the game, we can also see it. What a nice little repair again. I know the bodywork is awful, but wasn't that a nice little fix? Well, let's just see if reset's working. Yes, it is. And let's see if another game's working. Exhaust heat. Yay, there we go. Fantastic. I'm not going to do any more on this one right now. I'm going to wait until the fuse arrives, and then basically all I'm going to be doing, there's no point in filming it, I'm just going to be super gluing up the posts that remain. And I mean, this is never going to be a nice one here. You know, you can see the damage at the bottom here. But what I probably will do is You see this one here is really nice. This is a really nice one, but yet this has a very yellowed bit here. Yet this one is really yellowed, but this bit's really grey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them both apart. These bits here unclip, and I'm just going to swap them over, and then you can see my grey one will be grey all over, and then the yellow one will be yellowed all over, and then it won't look as bad because it's yellowed all over, and this one will look better because it's grey all over. So I'm just going to do that. So there we have it, 3 very nice honest faults. I swapped the front plate over here. This one definitely looks better. This still looks grey compared to the yellow here, but it does look slightly darker. Interestingly, on this one there was a bit of crud in the corner here which coincides with the damage up here, so I suppose it got spilt on here and worked its way along these cracks and just sat on that bit there. So once the fuses arrive, I will put a proper fuse into that one, and then I can clean that one up, and also I will put a fuse into this spare board that I got from eBay, and I might even look at this in another video. I haven't got a case for it, but it might still be an interesting video because I can borrow one of the other cases to get it tested. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if it was a bit bitty. Like I said at the beginning, it was 3 different videos merged into one, but I think maybe it made for a better video to be just one long one rather than 3 separate ones. So thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you all very soon. Take care.
Thank you.